Hey everybody, welcome back to Life in the North 40. I'm Rick.
And I'm Brittany, and as you can see, we have a lot of planting to do this week at our homestead. We have a lot of fruit and nut trees that we're going to plant.
Basically, we have been waiting because of our extended wet spring to pick these up from the nursery. It went boom to hot all of a sudden. It got to 96 yesterday. Today we've got to get to planting. I've got 4 different kinds of nut trees, 2 hazelnut, 2 walnut, and they're borderline in our zone 4 growing area, so we're going to be optimistic. They're the only ones that have a potential option to grow here. And then we've got 6 different fruit trees, 2 being cherries and 4 different apples. And Brittany's going to plant 4 blueberries. We have 2 varietals each, a total of 4. We're going to get those in the ground, and we're just doing chores here on the homestead. Thanks for joining us.
All right, let's go.
Well, I got everything loaded up for our first 2. I'm going to start with our 2 Bing cherries. I've got 6-foot high fencing, 14 gauge welded wire. I'm going to put a 6-foot ring around each tree to keep the deer, elk, and moose away with 3 pickets. And I got my ties, my picket pounder, and I got some peat moss here. Right now it's pretty moist soil, but here in the summertime, midsummer, it'll dry out really well. This will be for moisture retention and a soil amendment to mix with the actual root ball as it is. So we're going to get these babies in the ground. I thought I'd drive them up to the site rather than haul them. Well, getting our first hole here in between our driveways, gosh, there's about 6 inches of organic matter, all the grass and stuff. You see I rolled the roots over. That's the hardest part. And then there's a few roots up high, so I got to dig this about 1.5 times the size of the pot, down and below, and then backfill it. I'm going to mix it with the soil and some peat moss. So yeah, this is going to be one of our cherries right here. Getting her all purdied up. I got a nice well in there. I was on a side hill, so it's higher up. I just want to have a little bit of a well to catch our water. Little existing soil and peat moss together. All right, so getting our second cherry in. We got one there, and we're going to do one here. This is about a 20-inch diameter pot, so I'm making the hole about a couple inches wider, and I soften the soil underneath. So these peat pots, you can leave them in, but I'm going to go ahead and cut the peat pot and get it in the hole. First, I got to check my depth though. Let's see how we're looking. I think that's about right. And then I'll backfill a little peat moss and soil, so that's about right. So we can pull that baby out. Okay, and we'll just come over here with it. So, pretty happy with that. It's nice and loose. I dug deeper than the soil there. So I've gone ahead and mixed my peat moss, which is my soil amendment, sphagnum peat moss, with our existing soil. Kind of dark down in there, but our soil here is really good. It's not too sandy, not too clayish, kind of a combo. Nice organic matter in here, and how I can tell it's really good is there's a ton of worms in here. Not a lot of standing water, so I think these trees should do pretty good. You see how soft that is? I don't want to lose my integrity in my root ball. That's the danger here. That's why it is, some people recommend you keep this peat pot on, but I don't want it to, I want the roots to grow and expand easily, so if this is gonna fall apart on me, I will keep it in here, but I am breaking this pot up at a minimum. Yeah, it's really wanting to fall apart on me, so I'm gonna have to be careful. So you can shock these really bad, shock them, and then they die. Yeah, look at that just coming apart on me, so it's gonna be a challenge here. What we're gonna do now, I got my 2 cherries in. I gotta get fencing around this. This is 6-foot high, 14 gauge welded wire to keep the moose, elk, and deer out of here and eating this tree before it really gets established. I'm just doing a 3 pickets about 24 inches away from the tree on a triangle. So I'm just gonna wrap this around and then cut it, tie it, so with some wire ties. There's the 2 cherries. We're making progress. So we're gonna get our 4 apples in and we're gonna be done for today. We've got 2 Gravensteins, 1 Honeycrisp, and 1 Frostbite apple. So they're all gonna cross-pollinate with each other since I have different varietals, but those are all yummy apples. We love those. And they're all supposed to be really good here in the zone 4.
So we have a drip line already in this bark bed by the front of our house that had other just shrubberies that we didn't really want or they weren't really useful. So I am planting 4 blueberry bushes at these drip line posts. So that's really nice and convenient that we already have that installed. Blueberries are one of my favorite fruit. I think they're a lot of people's favorites. Soil's already nice and moist because we have this drip line already installed. So it looks like it's going into a really good environment. I might actually need to turn the level down a little bit and adjust it because it's pretty wet down here. Kind of break up the bottom roots so they get going. How to get it underneath my drip line. Awesome. Some more peat moss, I don't know if you can see, around. And then I'm gonna cover back up with all my soil, pack it in there.
So we're gonna cluster our apples in here. This is a good spot. I'm not gonna touch my apples right now this year as far as pruning until next fall when they're dormant. They're getting nice straight up spires. I want my apple trees to be shorter, squattier, where you can pick without a ladder and kind of dome them over. This is also fairly close to our hose bib off of our spigot or hydrant by our wellhead, so we can run the hose over. We don't have a sprinkler system out here. So got my 2 cherries over there, so we'll have our 4 apples, 2 cherries in this swale or island. Gonna be fairly good spot. This area gets full sun from about 10:30, 11 a.m. on as the sun goes down that way. So these trees will block a little bit with this guy, but this guy gets morning sun sooner. So this is gonna be a fairly good spot for apple trees. Well, today was a good day. In about 5 hours, we got all of our fruit trees in today. We got our 2 cherries and our 4 apples, 2 Gravensteins, 1 Honeycrisp, and 1 Frostbite apple here in this little cluster. where they're easy to water and easy access. So a little bit of work to get this fencing on. Gonna keep the critters out. We got some big critters here. The moose and elk do move through from time to time, and the deer live on the property, so they will eat these to a nub. So we're gonna give them a good soaking now. We got a good mix of peat moss and normal soil. Cut all the peat pots off, and we got some nice wells. So we're making progress. The next couple days we'll get our nut trees in, 2 hazelnuts, 2 walnuts. Good day. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. We appreciate all your support. Don't forget to like and subscribe.